Good morning, wrestling fans, and welcome to PWR today, Wednesday morning, December 29th, 2021. The man they call Meathead, the gentleman Squire, the Matthew on the streets, Matthew Thomas. Good morning, Matthew.
Hey, good morning and I was going to say Happy New Year, but I guess it's not technically New Year. This is the first time you and I've talked since Christmas. So happy post-Christmas to you, Meathead.
Yeah, I was in the giving mood. I was sending gifts out. You were receiving gifts. Everybody was enjoying what they got. We're not having any, cold sweat nightmares about, work. We're doing fine.
That's correct. And just so you know, if anybody needs any last-minute gifts for Christmas, or just if you need any gifts during the year for anything, just contact the man they call Meathead. He has the ability to do quite a few things and to just really help you out with all of your gift-giving needs.
That's funny, and I also like to tell Matthew to tell us about what else we could be getting if you didn't get anybody something for Christmas. Hurry up and head on over to where, Matthew?
Well, you can actually do both of those. You can head to collarandelbowbrand.com yourself. Wait a minute. Collarandelbowbrand.com is the website, not collarandelbowbrand.com
yourself. Yeah, I don't think that one exists.
Yeah, that's a different website. Or if you would like to incorporate Meathead helping you out with your gift giving, you can actually contact Meathead and actually kind of have him go to the website for you by proxy and, basically go through him. So that you would need to reach out to the man they call Meathead himself to have him be your personal shopper. But again, if you want to do it on your own and save money, Linda K is the promo code you need to enter, LINDAKAY. Save yourself 10% and load up on some late Christmas presents or some early Christmas presents for next year.
Yeah, that you could be shopping for next year. There's people that do that. So, all right, we got a bunch of things I want to run through. Really, the theme of this morning is going to be health and just, change, really. Let's talk about where Bruce Pritchard's been lately. Apparently, he is at home dealing with a health issue. There's no word as if this is related to COVID-19, but Bruce has been gone for a little bit, and he's dealing with a health issue right now.
Yeah, we'll certainly wish him the best of luck and hope everything, hope he's doing well and hope he continues to improve. Somebody who really, in addition to his long tenure with WWE, has become quite a name.
He loves you.
He does love me. He loves me. I think he loves you too.
I love you.
But a big name in, of course, his behind-the-scenes work with WWE, but also a huge name in the podcast industry as well.
Yes, he is. He's got something that he's wrestling with, I guess. So
that's what I hear.
Also dealing with health issue, Don West back in the hospital after his cancer has reemerged. Remember, Don West had stepped away from his radio show in Washington to, focus on battling the cancer. And per Jeff Jarrett, who got the West permission, he's back in the hospital kicking cancer's ass the second time. He, believes in the power of prayer. And, he's got brain lymphoma and started treatment immediately. Now, last September, he said the cancer was in remission, but Don is back there fighting again. And I hope he's offering some great TNA shop deals as well.
I hope so too. Best of luck to Don West as well. And really, TNA is one of those TNA/Impact been around for 2 decades now. And I think when you really go to at least periods of TNA that I hold near and dear to my heart, Don West is the soundtrack to most of
that word. That's going to trigger some stuff, Matthew.
Well, it's just making a statement.
I know. Folks, you guys probably heard the news yesterday that not wrestling related, but legendary broadcaster John Madden. Matthew and I talked off the air before we started recording here that John Madden honestly has been the voice of football since I started watching. I remember literally the first Super Bowl I ever watched was Super Bowl 16 with Joe Montana and the Niners defeating the Bengals. And I think that was his first Super Bowl calling it as well. So John Madden, plus you guys, I don't hide this. I'm a Madden player. I've been a Madden player since Madden came out, was created. I've been playing Maddens well over 20 some years, 30 years. I don't know how long it is. Whatever the PC version came out, late 80s, 90s. I know the platforms like PlayStation 1, PlayStation 2, and Nintendos and Super Nintendos. I know that stuff came out around 92. But man, but yes, he has been the soundtrack of a lot of great TNA moments. The only thing I didn't like that he did in TNA was when they were saying that he was a drunk.
Yeah. Yeah, nah, they definitely took some liberties with their booking there, but no, certainly some good TNA moments there.
Let's talk about Karrion Kross and Scarlett Boudreau. Now, Scarlett Boudreau mysteriously disappeared with no explanation on TV of where she went. During an interview with Killer Kross on Renee Paquette's show Oral Sessions, it was explained that the reason Scarlett was pulled off TV, because remember, she wasn't showing up on Raw when Karrion Kross showed up, and then she was just gone. One of her breast implants exploded. And she went to the back and basically said, hey, one of these things is not like the other. And I'm not somebody that, with the adrenaline wrestling might have caught it right away. But they said, yeah, one of your breasts are gone. So she had been out getting taken. She's all good. Everything's, so a positive health note here. But that's what happened to Scarlett. And honestly, now that we talked this out, it's possible that might have been what happened to Karrion Kross.
Wow. She was definitely absent. You would have certainly hoped that, he'd have had a little bit more of a, given more of a chance than just that. But my goodness, yeah, that's definitely part of the story that I didn't realize.
So that was a little bit of a positive health note. Let's go back down, unfortunately, a sadder health note, but not as sad as you would think. There's no official word, but Omos was apparently at Raw on Monday night and left early and went home. And that's why Apollo Crews ended up taking on AJ Styles, even though it was supposed to be AJ Styles and Commander Aziz. So, again, that whole just transition, flipping around, who knows what's going on, style of show that we got on Monday night. And we're going to get to NXT in just a second. There's no saying, but it's possible that Omos might have been one of the many in WWE affected by COVID-19.
Yeah, I mean, with everything changing due to that, one would have to think that very well might have had something to do with it. With so many cards in the deck being shuffled.
So WWE put out a tweet that said, "Send Veer at Veer Mahan coming to Raw." Remember, it was one of those two guys that were hanging around Jinder Mahal. You had Shanky and you had Veer. They were separated. Well, send Veer. Send Veer. Doesn't it sound like somebody else has been using that for a while?
Oh, that Hook guy.
Well, Taz, his dad, said, "Are you kidding me?" Literally, how lame is that? Because the number one selling shirt in AEW says "Send Hook." The number one selling shirt, folks. And now WWE's copying that? So weak. That's so weak.
It's got to be what it's a reference to, right?
I mean, guess
it's got to be them trying to capitalize on that. And honestly, let's have this conversation, because I saw it the other night and we really haven't, brought it up. But the organic response that the audience has behind Hook now, someone who has wrestled 2 matches in AEW, I don't even know when I would have to go back in WWE to the last time there was somebody, a new talent that got
I got it. Who? WWE. How about WCW? When a young gentleman came in and beat Hugh Morris on his first night.
Yeah. You're right.
AEW might have that.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. And I think they've got
a Goldberg on their hands. Half the side, of course, but
what a very intriguing version of that, if that is in fact what they've got.
That literally just came to me right there.
Yeah.
What was the last organic? The guy walks in, destroys people, and leaves. Bill Goldberg in WCW.
That fans got behind naturally. Right. That fans did not have to be told, "Hey, you're really supposed to like this guy." Showed up, got the reaction, and did the work.
Yeah. Oh, wow, folks, we just landed on that. We might be seeing Goldberg 2022 right here.
Is Hook the next Goldberg? I think is the title of this episode.
Is Hook the next Goldberg? Well, we'll have to wait and see when you guys download it. What's it called? Because obviously I haven't titled it yet, but maybe that's the one we use. All right, let's talk NXT from last night, Matthew. And again, the theme is change. We were promised a bunch of matches, and we got a bunch of different stuff. You heard us talk yesterday with Linda, folks, and Matthew, that NXT and WWE have changed their COVID protocols. They're doing less testing. However, they're changing the show more because people are being positive. Are they changing the testing? And I'm asking you this now. Are they changing the testing so they don't have to cancel WrestleMania due to their own protocols? Or is the testing being changed because it's not as important to know if they're positive or negative? If you feel sick, you just go home.
What are the odds, though, that they announced the change in protocol when they've had to shuffle MSG around, when they've had to shuffle Raw around?
I think they're getting handcuffed by their own rules, and I think they're changing the rules to better suit their situation.
Yeah, no, it's very possible. It's very possible, and I think you're potentially coming at a time too. There maybe we look at the time frame, not necessarily because of what's happened over the last week, but you've also got a time period where you've got, CDC recommendations that are changing as far as like quarantine periods, and a lot of employers are following suit as well with the 10 to 5. So, maybe they're looking at that and saying, okay, we can kind of say that this is falling into other guidelines differing. So, yeah, who knows? I don't think we're going to find an answer.
Shenanigans is what it is. Let's just put it out there, and not the party. I mean, just
the shenanigans. Wait a minute, that doesn't have anything to do with. We're not going to talk about the party and viruses and stuff. I don't want to use those two words in the same thing.
So let's talk NXT from last night. The show opened up, and we get Grayson Waller coming out. Remember, Grayson Waller showed up on Raw to help with the AJ Styles, Omos, Apollo Crews, Commander Aziz segment. Grayson Waller disappeared out of nowhere after the commercial break. Your thoughts on Grayson Waller from last night, and how he was supposed to take on Odyssey Jones, and how he just disappeared on Raw?
So I think Grayson Waller is something very different that we're getting. We are used to, in the context of WWE, being spoon-fed baby faces. This is our baby face that you're going to like, and we're going to keep presenting this baby face in a dominant fashion.
I think about Grayson Waller, he's not a face.
I think what you're seeing with Grayson Waller is you're actually being spoon-fed a heel for the first time in a long time, because we get so much Grayson Waller. We get him on NXT. We got him on Raw a few nights ago.
Yeah.
Like, I just get the impression that they are trying to tell the audience, hey, this is a heel. Hey, this is a bad guy. In case you forget, he's going to say this thing, and then that thing. It seems like a little bit too much too soon with Grayson Waller, in the fact that, we're a few months removed from him just kind of showing up and being the guy who wanted to host the Halloween Havoc. Yep. And now we're kind of being, shown each and every episode that, with the amount of screen time he's given, hey, remember this guy, you're really supposed to dislike him. As it goes to, we're talking about Hook and that organic reaction a little while ago. Grayson Waller, the approach they're taking with Grayson Waller and trying to feature him as the most prominent heel in their brand, really second to none. It seems like it's a little bit of an in-your-face spoon-fed approach.
Yeah. Grayson Waller with the victory. AJ Styles shows up on the big screen, and we had a bunch of that again on the big screen for Grayson Waller, and he says, you know what, I'm going to show up at New Year's Evil next week.
Yeah. I mean, you're going to have some star power at New Year's Evil, but my goodness, man.
Didn't need it.
Where are we at after you have let so much of what you associate with your traditional black and gold NXT go, and now you're having to pull guys from the main roster to NXT? Right.
And specifically just from the Raw side, too. Yeah. So, I mean, the Raw side has to go 3 hours. What if these guys come down here and they get hurt?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. No, exactly. And you're stretched so thin as it is.
MSK returns, and another person that was supposed to show up on last night's NXT, didn't show up, but it gave him a video message. You know what, though? They saved themselves, because that boop, boop, while Walter was on the screen, and then Matt Riddle pushing him to the side again with the side screen, that popped me. It was actually pretty damn funny.
No, that was interesting, and my takeaway from this is I look forward to seeing Riddle and Walter having some interaction next week.
remember, they were in NXT at the same time. Now, I don't think they ever had a match. I don't think they ever had physical contact. But Riddle was an NXT star for a long time, and Walter is still the NXT UK champion.
Yeah, and I think, with him being, with him being the UK champion, NXT UK, I don't know that they really necessarily cross paths in the ring. But
correct.
Yeah, I want to see them, them lock up next week. That's what I'm looking forward to.
Harland was going to take on Brian Kendrick, the Brian Kendrick, former Price is Right star. But Brian Kendrick, nowhere to be found. They even played his music. I don't like that they're doing that. Yeah. Because it's like trolling us. Yeah.
No, I don't either. And that was somebody that, we haven't seen a lot of. I know he spent some time in 205 Live, but I can be excited to see Brian Kendrick. To mix it up a little bit in NXT. I like the idea of that. So I was a little bit disappointed there.
Andre Chase ends up taking his place, but in the face, Harlan punches him. Harlan with the win. Thank you. I'll be here all week.
Yeah. There you go, Dr. Seuss. Here's the thing with Chase. I realized last night, I don't necessarily want to see Chase and Gacy in the same ring. I think Gacy does it much better. But it's a similar, Gacy and the Chase, you are a little bit too similar for me to see interact.
After the match, Harlan stood tall and he took one of Chase's students over his shoulder and just left with him. I mean, just straight up left. Is he taking somebody home for dinner? I mean, we don't know what he's doing. But we get the in-ring debut of Tiffany Stratton taking on Fallon Henley. Tiffany Stratton, I thought she looked good. It's no clapback with a lashing out, whatever her name is, match. It was way better. Tiffany Stratton with the win.
Yeah, and a little bit of a kind of a Tori Wilson appearance too, with the way the approach,
which fuzzy purse as well.
Yeah, that's kind of what
okay with that.
Yep.
So she hit her with her flatliner, which was kind of cool, right?
Yeah, no, we've been getting the vignettes for a while, so it was good to see, some headway made with the debut. Not Veer still hasn't debuted yet, but
send Veer. Yikes! All right, contract signing. Wade Barrett's going to officiate the title unification match contract signing between Carmelo Hayes and Roddy Strong. You know what? There's a lot of back and forth. I did like Malcolm Bivens saying to who's Carmelo's not sidekick, that's an insult. Who's his running partner?
Yeah. My goodness. It's escaping me. That's
Trick Williams.
Name. Okay.
Can't we all just get along?
Here's my thing with
King action there.
Here's my thing with this whole thing, and I'm excited about the match, and I think it's going to be a really good chance to potentially unify those titles. I mean, prior to Gacy's match, there was that talk about the 205 or the cruiserweight title going bye-bye, and so maybe not in the way of Gacy.
That's why I picked him up. I thought it'd be a title win, and then he just.
I know, but maybe this is how it happens, and. Here's where another person has entered this equation, and it's another entity in the form of AEW. As I'm sitting there watching this, all I'm thinking of is he going to drop? What's his contract status? And is he going to go to AEW to complete?
I don't want Roddy Strong to go to AEW right now.
The four team, and but they got 3 of the 4, man, and that's all. That's pretty much,
I need a 3-man team. That's good.
I enjoyed this segment, but that's kind of what I was thinking.
Okay. Solo Sikoa gets a match against Santos Escobar. And, he won the match, right? Yeah. Sikoa did, but it's because Zion Quinn and Elektra Lopez, are staring at each other back and forth.
That's okay, though. I think the right person won here, and I think that's another person that, if you're looking at your pillars of NXT 2.0, Braun Breaker's one, and then Sikoa is another.
All right, so they cut to the roof, and that's where Harlan took the student. He's going to pitch him off the building. But then Joe Gacy whispers in his ear, macaroni and cheese tonight. And then he puts him down. So I guess, the secret phrase is macaroni and cheese tonight.
Yeah, that works for me. I mean, who doesn't enjoy some good macaroni and cheese? I know I do for a fact. I actually had it on some nachos last week, and that was a pleasant surprise. So
I'm telling you, mac and cheese pizza is one of my secret favorites.
Yeah, no, I don't doubt that one bit. Only concern here is as money as I think Joe Gacy is, I think you're losing a little bit of that having him pretty much as a mouthpiece for Harlan
Yeah.
here. So
Let
I'd
him get in
like
there
to
and wrestle a
see,
little bit.
yeah, I'd like to see a little bit more of Gacy in the ring, with the gimmick because I think there's
Sure.
really something there.
Von Wagner took on Malik Blade, and Malik Blade, I thought, got way too much offense if they're
Yeah.
trying to make Von Wagner this beast.
Yeah, no, and that's a risky run when you, I understand wanting to have some people get some stuff in and look competitive, but when it is an enhancement match, more or less, you kind of gotta go to the approach they're doing with Wardlow now.
Yeah, and Wardlow, we thought maybe Wardlow, wasn't getting enough, but Wardlow is now getting those matches finally, right?
He's getting those matches and the consecutive maneuvers that he's doing. You're getting.
I saw him pound down the fanny pack kid. I didn't like that.
No, I don't like that one bit either. But if you watch the Wardlow matches now, you are getting as strong of a response to a squash match as you've seen in some time. We've already compared Hook to Goldberg, so we can't do that again here. But it's very rare that you see the crowd response.
The Goldberg run was kind of like Butterbean back in the day when Butterbean would have a 3-minute match, a boxing match on USA.
Yeah, that's true.
All right.
Just don't ask Bart Gunn about that, right?
Let's talk main event. Cora Jade, Raquel Gonzalez taking on Io Shirai and Kaylee Ray. Here's what got set up. The 4-woman team from War Games, Cora Jade, Raquel, Io, and Kaylee Ray, were split up into twos, thanks to Mandy not allowing Toxic Attraction. Again, another substitution to be there for the match. So, whichever 2-person team wins are the two they're going to take on Mandy Rose next week and New Year's Evil. I like the setup. The only thing I didn't like is when they show Mandy. Mandy needs to wear the belt around her waist, and they need to pan down and just show me the belt.
Yeah.
Like they did last week, because that was the best title belt presentation I'd ever seen, ever.
Yep. No, that's understandable. Or have Mandy there, in some capacity, because I think that's when. Here's the thing: Toxic Attraction.
I like Mandy not being there right now for the gimmick. I'm okay with it.
Yeah, I do think that, Mandy not there, the rest of Toxic Attraction not there in a night where you had so many video screen promos. I think that, in another week it might have worked better than it did last night. But no, it'll be an interesting match. And I think that you're probably going to have, Mandy retain and the other two competitors maybe go into their own program.
Okay. Well, Rose kisses the title and says she will see them next week at New Year's Evil because the winners are Cora Jade and Raquel Gonzalez. Raquel Gonzalez went to pull Cora Jade off. They're obviously showing some tension because they're going to wrestle next week, but they still got the win. It was weird. Why would you stop it if, the belt's your most important thing? This is your opportunity to the belt. You should defend her. But then afterwards, she corrected it and rolled Cora Jade on top to get the pinfall. So,
yeah. Our go home to New Year's Evil. My goodness, though, for a go home, I was surprised. No Ciampa there, no Braun Breaker there.
Who knows? Again, I wonder if Nick Khan wouldn't have fired over 100 people in 2021. Maybe we'd have some people around.
Yeah. No, I mean, this is where
I'm saying 100. I didn't count, but honestly, there was at least 3 rounds of 20 plus each.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. No, I mean, you're not far away. I 70 something sticks in my head, but maybe that's the pounds of stuffing that I ate over Christmas.
That's quite possible. 70 pounds of stuffing gold.
That's all you need.
Hey, Matthew, tonight, we already mentioned it yesterday, but tonight we're excited. By God! By God! By God! He's back. Good old JR on Dynamite.
Absolutely. No, this will be a fantastic episode.
And you know what that means.
Nothing other than the fact we got JR back on commentary.
Like I said, happy to hear JR back. Happy to have one less Suicido call. Excalibur, I know you listen. I'm just joking.
He likes that maneuver.
Suicido dive. All right, Excalibur, we got you. All right. But we also got Matthew. Matthew, thank you for stopping by. Folks, we'll talk to you again tomorrow morning. So long, everyone.